Alright guys, welcome back, and in this video I am going to show you how to verify the checksum of a file using a hash. And if you guys are like, no idea what any of that means, don't care, probably don't need it, going on to the next video, well hold on, let me explain exactly what that means. So what we're going to be doing is, whenever you go on the internet and find some file that you want to download, you click download and then you take whatever file's on their server and you're pretty much bringing it on to your own personal local machine, your own computer. So what we're going to do is we're going to verify that the file that we wanted was actually the file that we got. That doesn't really make sense. I mean, you go get a file, download it, and it's always the same one, right? Well, there are a lot of attacks nowadays, and let's say that there was some kind of hacker who was sitting in between the server and your own computer. Well, what they could do is they could see that you're downloading a file, and instead of giving you the file that you wanted, whether it was a MP3, a video, a zip file, what they could do is they could send you a malicious file with, some virus instead. Or let's say that someone wanted to spy on you, they could send you, a program just like it, but it could have a backdoor in it. So they could, snoop on your traffic, whatever. Alright, well that doesn't sound good. So how can we verify that this file that we actually wanted, and in this example I'm just using Raspberry Pi, and this is just because, I just wanted to find some small file that I could download for this tutorial, but you guys notice these, or you're going to start noticing them now that you know what they are, on pretty much every, important file that you can download off the internet. Alright, so that sounds pretty cool. I want to verify that I got the right file. How do we do it? Well, we're going to do it using this thing, and this is called a hash, and there are a bunch of different types of hashes or hashing algorithms, and I won't get into the real specifics of how they work because they all work a little bit different. But basically a hash, or this long number right here, is a way that you can take some data and turn it into a specific number. Now this formula, it only works one way. So whenever you take this file, for example, and you run it through this formula, it's always going to give you this number. If you do it in a year, it's still going to give you this number. If you make any changes to this file and run it through the same formula, this number is going to be completely different. So that way, what we can do is we can download this file, run it through the formula on our own computer, and make sure that we end up with this number right here. And if we do, then we know that this is the verified version of the file. If anyone messed with it, then like I said, we're going to get something else. So I already downloaded this before this tutorial, so what I'm going to do is just pop open my terminal and switch my profile. Alright, and I also made my background in my terminal kind of transparent, so you guys can kind of see the files. And let me actually change that so it's a little, so you guys can see the actual files behind it. I think it looks pretty cool too. Alright, so what we want to do is this file that we downloaded, we want to check and make sure that we end up with this number as a result. So what I can do is, let me just, alright, so right now I'm in my home and I want to move to my downloads just because that's where the file is, and we can see that this is the file that we just downloaded. It's just a zip file, but it can be any type of file. Just ISO, whatever. So what we want to do is we want to run it through some kind of hashing algorithm, and the hashing algorithm in this case that Raspberry Pi used is SHA-1. So this is like the easiest thing ever. If you just type SHA-1 sum, that's what algorithm you're going to use, and after this just type the name of the file, and the name of my file is NOO, and if you just start typing it and you hit tab, then Ubuntu is going to figure out what you're trying to type and hit enter. So when we took this file on our own computer, Noobs Lite, and we run it through this algorithm, this formula, we ended up with this value, E14053. Alright, let's look on the website, E14053. Alright, it looks like it's the right number, but and most of the time you can just like look at this and maybe write it down or compare it, read them one by one. But if you guys want a real quick way to just compare them, if you're too lazy to actually read the whole thing, then what you can do is you can just select this and copy it so you know that this is the verified hash. And then whenever you type your program again, instead of just running it and outputting it, what you can do is use the pipe symbol, and if you hold shift above enter on your keyboard, that little up and down thing, that's the pipe symbol, and you can type grep, and then let me just do this visually so you guys can see, paste in the hash from the website. Now what this is going to do is it's going to run the same formula before on our own local file, but it's going to compare this. Again, grep means that you can pattern match using regular expressions. So what you're pretty much saying is, does this match this from the website? Hit enter, and if it's red, it means that it does match. Pretty sweet. Now I'll show you guys what happens when it doesn't. So I'm going to run this again, but let's say that the verified hash, we knew instead of this being an A, I'm going to change this to B. So now whenever you run this hashing algorithm or the formula on our computer, it's going to end up different than the verified version. So I'm going to hit enter, and you see we didn't get that red output. So it's kind of, counterintuitive, because red is actually a good thing, something that you want to see. So yeah, there you go. So whenever you download a file from the internet, if you want to make sure it's valid, then run the hashing algorithm on it. So SHA-1 and there's also like MD5 SHA-256 They're going to tell you what algorithm to use on the website. Match them, and as long as it's red, then you got the verified version. Now the last thing I want to talk about before I let you guys go, and you guys don't have to type anything else, is alright, how do I know that someone just didn't hack this website, and or maybe there's a virus on my computer that whenever I go to this website, it's going to give me a fake hash and the fake file. Well, then I'm kind of screwed, because alright, I'm checking it and it's saying it's verified, but maybe someone on my computer is just tweaking with what I see. Well, for that, what you can do is, if you want to be like extra safe, then shut off the Wi-Fi on your phone and just connect to the 4G network and view the same website. So whenever I view this from my phone using 4G over an entirely different device and network, then make sure it says the same thing. Also, maybe go to one of your friends' house or ask them to go to this website and read back the algorithm, or read back the hash value. And once you do that, then you can see that, okay, this is the actual hash. Make sure that you're on the right website, of course, and it's good to go. So, it sucks that I even have to teach you guys this, because, it's kind of crappy that people do this and put backdoors in software, and there are people sitting in the middle, manipulating your files. But now you guys will be knowledgeable, good to go, safe. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.